Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the brake tuck. Today we're going to pull the rear interior, mount the proportionate valve, and run the lines from front to back. Hope you guys enjoy, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Let's get this started. Alright, so this is where we're starting at. The seats are already out. I'm going to have to pull these side panels, and then we'll go from there. So I have the center console sitting in here, roughly where it's going to mount it. I'm looking to mount this somewhere right around here. So what I'm going to do now is cut a piece of angle iron and try to size up a bracket for this. Okay, so the bracket's cut. I'm gonna drill some holes in there. Let's put some bolts in there temporarily. So now we're gonna go see if this fits in the car. So I think it's gonna sit pretty nice right here. So I'm gonna do some trimming to the bracket and mark it where I want it to be at exactly. And we'll move on to the next step. Have the bracket cut how I want it. Scuff this to bare metal. I'm going to end up welding that right there. You could just as easily bolt it. I'm using a Harbor Freight welder. I'm no professional, so it'll turn out decent enough. If it's too ugly, I'll just grind down the welds. As you can see, the welds aren't too great, but it's definitely when they're solid. So I'm going to get a flat wheel and clean this up real quick. Not perfect, but much cleaner than it was before. It's going to be covered up anyway. So right now I'm just going to throw some spray paint on it so it doesn't rust. So for the adjustable proportional valve, it's a 1/8 inch MPT. It's a -3AN. I ordered a line wrench, but it hasn't come yet. So I'm not going to put everything on hold for that. So I just use masking tape that taped around the part where the wrench goes. That way it doesn't scratch it up. So I'm going to install this and this one on here, mock this up, and start to get the lines ran. Now the proportionate valve's installed. The bolts aren't tight, but it's pretty sturdy where it's at. It's just hand tightened, that's why it's wiggling. So for the rear bulkhead, I'm going to try to go through right here. It should have plenty of clearance with the seat bracket right here with the plastic panels. So I'm going to drill a small hole and see where it comes through on the other side. Alright, so the hole came out right here, which I think is perfect because the line can run around here, close to this, straight into here. Here's the fitting installed in place, outside view, inside view. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'll be right back. So I trimmed up the styrofoam piece so it clears the Wilwood cylinder, so I can mock this up so it sits properly. So this is how it's going to look with the interior in basically. So I'm going to run a line from here, kind of curve it in under here, and I want to come straight out the back near the e-brake cables to this T here. And then it's going to split off going to either side. I'm using this nickel copper that comes in a roll. Basically measured the length that I need, which is roughly 28 inches. And I'll cut that off. I have this piece. It's not 100% straight, but what I did was I rolled it with this board here to try to get it as straight as possible. So here's the first line bent. It's going to clear the e-brake bracket here. We'll come straight through to that. So here is line 2. Okay, there's line number 3. It does stick out a tad bit past the seat bracket, but I'm not really too worried about it. No one sits back here. So now I have the driver's side nice and cleaned up. It looks like crap, but I didn't do all that. That was already done before I got the car. Where it enters the car is cleaned up. And on the passenger side, it's right over there. Alright, so there's the inlet line to a T. This is the driver's side right here. For some reason, I had the hardest time ever bending that line. Even though it's not as complicated as the ones I did in the rear, I had to redo that one like 5 times. So now I'm gonna run one behind the heater distribution blocks to another T on the other side, so I can have one end coming down to the adjustable proportion valve and the other side to the passenger side wheel well. From the first T, we have the line that comes out underneath the distribution block to the second T, which goes across under the blower box around the harness into the passenger side. Comes off the bottom of the T through the shifter console to the adjustable proportion valve. Comes around the e-brake to the rear T. For the rear lines that I bent earlier, I did test fit the seats and they were going to bend. So I purchased some 90-degree bulkhead fittings and redid the lines. Everything in the car now is flared but just hand tightened. But as you can see, it's nice and tucked in behind the bracket. Alright guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up this episode. I do have all the lines bent for inside the wheel well, but I didn't flare them yet because I'm not ready to put back on the suspension or brakes, and I didn't want any moisture to get inside the lines and rust them out from the inside. But if you have any questions about any of the fittings or brake tuck in general, drop a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Next episode we'll be pulling apart the front end, so stay tuned for that. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.